I'm Margaret in Windsor, and my real name. The name I have to use is Peggy Ann Dempsey. I'm married to Childers. I was kidnapped in 41 at age 2 years old and brought to Moulton, Alabama, and given the name of a twin. Both twins, Carl and Peggy Dempsey, were killed by their mother. They were born out of wedlock, and they stole my identity and gave me her name. So that's how I grew up. And it was a horrible place to live. Pigsty, horrible things those people did. Anyway, in 1983, I'm skipping to 1983. I was flown out to Larry Flint's. It was just after then, I found out about my kidnapping. The British and Germans told me. But I had done a medical malpractice book back in 78. Well, actually, I started in 76, and I'm giving you a little background to where I'm going now. It was about mind control used to program people to murder and kill, and it can be done in any way. You can make a person drive a car into the river and drown, or the Tesla files were stolen back in 1930, and they can create an illness or cure it. So it's used in mass armies, and everything can be today, and is. But this is what's used in Virginia Tech, the Columbine, the Tucson, Arizona, Gabby Gifford, and on and on. And some of them were done in patterns deliberately so that they could be proven. So you would think that the end of this would all come to a conclusion, a climax, and be told. I don't know that it will. The people that kidnapped me are the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedy clan. Joe Kennedy, his son Jeff K., and Joe, the older one, flew in prior to my kidnapping and after. Their dad was appointed ambassador by Roosevelt, another Jew. So they kidnapped me, and thus the cover-up and the cover-up and the take down the British government. My father, Edward VIII, never married Wallace Simpson. An impostor did. My father's was a forced abdication, and I'm saying this to lead up to why all this has happened, and hopefully it ends in the right way. I don't know how it could, though, at the moment. Anyway, the Kennedys, my own Uncle George, the illegal sixth, helped kidnap me and take down my father. Married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, Windsor, a school teacher, sister to artist Georgia O'Keefe, an American. The double married Wallace Simpson. The double was used in This an Imposter and became the illegal title of Duke and Duchess of Windsor. This man did a lot of illegal, crazy things, and everybody attributed it to my father's behavior. It wasn't my father that did it. So now I want to, I was born in 39 and kidnapped in 41 because there was an addendum to my father's abdication, removal. And it stated that should he have an heir, the heir would inherit. It would not disinherit the heir. So the day I was born, I was heir to the British crown. Not just heir, I am Queen Victoria II, which would have brought my father back in as my power of attorney and guardian. Now I'm going to jump to, I ran in a political campaign, was flown out to Mr. Flint's, and usually I show an article that Hustler did in it, the magazine, in 84, but I'm not going to go back to that. I will say this, Larry Flint was one of the shot by a programmed shooter. He was under mind control, and Mr. Flint's attorney was killed in Lawrenceville, Georgia. And later I was flown out there in the campaign to replace the doctor congressman that the plane he was on, passenger plane, went down in August the 31st of 83. Now that I'm supposing that if anybody's watched this, they're tuning it out by now, it's old hat. I've tried to put up, they've used my immune system. I'm allergic to chemicals. And when around toxic fumes in a close place, my immune system attacks itself. This has been going on, the deliberate making me a pauper, homeless. When I get a home, the first thing that happens if I sign a lease like at HUD, this is federal. And I've put it up, the papers and documents that would prove all this is the thing. And now then, the last months it's just been hideous. A friend gave me the phones. One was stolen Easter of this year, the day before. Had a hard time putting some of it back together. It's out there, though, on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. But the last 2 years has really soaked me. If you want to call soaking rain or soaking, they've soaked me in chemicals. By the way, people help do this. Law enforcement is in on it, and they get people to commit crimes by and helping them by finding infractions they've done, like health codes violated. There's all kinds of things. Their kids might be threatened because they drove under the influence or drugs. It's all kinds of things. So in return, they do things to me and they don't have to pay for their crimes. Now, it's hideous if you could see the way people have band together, because I'm an interloper to them. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. It's like they hated the Brits. They took it from us. Then they pretend to be our friends when all the time they invaded Great Britain when they kidnapped me, and the illegal treaties that allowed the United States to put its bases all over Great Britain. And now then they really control the world. They and the people that kidnapped me. That's over the war tribunal. Now I'm getting to this. The crimes committed against me, if ever told, are so hideous and on a daily basis. My God, they put antifreeze in me, April Fool's Day of 80, and I've put some of the other up, the things done to me and my children, Mark, who are heirs after me. Now then, it gets to this point. People hate me. I used to wonder, what have I done to deserve it? The things I did, telling about the Tucson, Arizona, the mind control murders, which I was doing of my own because I cared. And then I found out that they hate the messenger. They don't want to hear it, okay? Unless, like the FBI man in Atlanta said, that he pretended he was bored and he yawned. You bore them with what you're telling them. It only matters when they find out how it affects them. So now then, over the years, it has the toxic fumes that I've been forced to inhale. I would pay for a month and I might not get to stay there for 2 days. And I'd have to leave. I was so sick and under attack from fumes and chemicals. Nobody will touch it. Just like none of the crimes that are heaped one on top of the other and done to my children will never be prosecuted. Now then, I'm going to get to this. I moved from one place because they were remodeling, and I woke up and they were paving with asphalt outside my door, the whole parking lot. I was so sick I thought I'd die. My kidneys and lungs and the life I've led has been hell, just because people chose to do it and it's done at such a high level. After all, you can do anything to a monarch, right? Now, I came here after the pavement, and this goes on and on and on. It didn't stop, but I came here. I'd stayed here before at American Efficiency Inn in Vinton. The manager's name, and she has been, is Finney. Her last name's Finney, Allison Finney. I called her because I'd left out where they were paving, was at a motel, and I had no money, hardly, cab, etc. I called her. She didn't have anything. She called me back right after I got my check. Said, well, some guy moved in and out immediately. I don't know what happened, but I have a room. So I said, you haven't just paved. I told her what had happened. And oh, no, you haven't remodeled. You're not going to remodel. No. I got here and she had lied to me. I really was paying a cab. I had nowhere to go. The parking lot and everything around the building had been paved about a month prior to me moving in on the 4th of October. Now, I got in here, I paid her the deposit, every penny I had almost, or I would have left and gone to the woods and tried to survive the forest. Anyway, I didn't have any money or food. The church did bring me some food, and a friend of mine bought me some food. And I'm going to say that I got in and I found out the cabinets were just put in, and the glue and whatever holds them up, everything. They started the next day. They started with cleaning the carpets, and it wasn't Stanley Steamer. It was unmarked 2 cars, and they were putting hose all up and down this place and doing all of the rooms, and it was horrible. They were using chemicals and painting the doors. Well, I don't know what all they've done. They moved me next door into this room, and the only thing I know is the exhaust fan. I usually use it wherever I'm at to dry out the bad air or help. Here, it had another blade up in it that sounded like it was caught. I brought it to her attention. She said, "Oh, yes, well, I can hear." And I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. But I have been drenched in here in the fumes and chemicals. And you can't understand. It's the worst it's been. And I left today because I hadn't had any food. Now, I'm living here with people all around me that know this. They always have. That's the reason the person gave me the phone, to put it up on social media. So I go out simply. I'm going to move this Thursday, day after tomorrow. But I was so hungry. I had a few bucks on me I'd saved in case of an emergency. It wasn't enough to do anything, but I got a cab and I went up to the grocery store and bought a few groceries. When I came back, it was horrible in here. I thought I would die, and I can't. I have the windows open, and that doesn't seem to do any good either. My kidneys and everything are just killing me, and nobody will touch it. Their family, they tell me, and also Channel 7 said their family. The media's controlled by the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, Kennedys. The Kennedys helped kidnap me. JFK became president, and the Justice Department building was named after his brother Bobby before he was shot, Robert Kennedy. So they controlled everything. Then you control the Justice Department, you got it. If you can't get something prosecuted, forget it. I'm going to say this: nobody has prosecuted any of the mass crimes committed against me and my children and my country, by the way. And I have to think, I got a letter from the FBI June the 23rd of 79. I thought it was because of the book and the people in it. I didn't know about my kidnapping at the time, or couldn't remember it either. And now I look back, they issued a letter, the FBI did, through U.S. Attorney Harper in Atlanta, and said ongoing investigation, national security involved. Now I look back with what's going on in FBI Director Comey. He deliberately turned the information out to the public before he turned it over to the Justice Department and Loretta Lynch. Now, because it would have been covered up. So you all listened to it just like I did. You know she committed crimes, mass crimes. So he let you know, and you can't put it together. You still will elect her president. Now then, he's on the hot seat again because he did the right thing. These crimes against Hillary will never be prosecuted, just like the crimes against me won't be. The United States is not going to convict itself of the crimes done to me and my country and my children. Neither are they going to convict Hillary Clinton. She's part of the New World Order, the Illuminati, just like Elizabeth II, illegal, Rothschilds, Rockefellers that kidnapped me. So sorry that the people are treating Comey this way, because I feel that's exactly why he did you all a favor. And now look at him. And you have never stepped forward, the people, and demanded that the crimes be committed, be prosecuted that have been done to me. The mass list of crimes against me. They've gone unprosecuted. Nobody will. I can't even go home to Great Britain. I don't even have my real name. Elizabeth wouldn't let me in, and that's because the United States put illegal monarch in and kidnapped me, and I'm a joke to them. Well, I can't get the damn... I guess that's going...